Welcome to the CDO Magazine interview series. I'm Asha Saxena, CEO of World Leaders Advancing Women Leaders in Data and AI, an organization where world leaders come together, advancing the mission to create a fair digital world with parity and equity. Today, we are honored to have Shertina Mawuenyega. She's a VP of Data Governance Leader for Synchrony Financials. Shertina, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Asha.
So, when we talked about diversity and skill set, I think when we are entering this world of AI, diversity and skill set is so great because we can have art, marry science, and you can have this creative thinking, curiosity, being a journalist, you could be a data storyteller. So you can come from any field now and enter this field and that's why we say that there are going to be a lot more new jobs coming out.
That's
And
right.
anyone who's inclined to different fields could come in and combine their skills with data and AI. And just a great field and great time for us to be in this situation. But I also want to talk about bias. We worry about the models learning. Listen, I grew up in this industry. I've been the only woman in the room all my life, 30 years in this industry. And I still, I'm in boardrooms where I feel like I'm the only woman. And it's okay because we learn to speak up. We learn to come with a solid content. We learn to make sure that everywhere you go, make sure you add value and you're seen. But models don't do that because you can train the model, but the models are going back to the historical data and the data is biased. So, the whole mission of WLDA was really to bring women leaders in the senior role, because if we have more women leaders, and I love your story about your CDO who was a female and the content she produced, as a early on CDO. And I think that's what women keep doing, is to make sure that we show up with content. But my worry is the models. My worry is the diversity in the models, and how do we make our real world more fair so our digital world has that replication. So I want to hear your thoughts on why is it important, as you think about your teams, to have diversity, to have women, and how women lead. And if you have an example, or if you've seen the female leaders, what do they bring? What do you bring? What do I bring to the room we walk in?
Well, I will say, being a woman, we definitely have different perspectives than our male counterparts. Just as we are all different from race, ethnicity, and other areas, we're going to look at circumstances differently, and that's healthy. We're going to have different experiences. We're going to have different ideas that we can bring to the table. All of that combined leads to more innovative solutions. It leads to better decision making and improved outcomes. It allows us to take a look at the data and say, this is what I'm getting from this. I really think this may be a bit biased, because again, we're able to look at it holistically by having a diversity of perspectives. So I think that is so key. And in my previous company, I was responsible also for establishing our initial set of risk metrics around our AI models and ensuring that they were being evaluated for bias on a regular basis, and what were the outcomes of that. So those are things we just simply cannot ignore. And yes, you can have metrics in place, but you really need to have diversity in the people who create the models and have input to what the data is in order to be successful.
And I love that in WLDA, in this organization, we have our male allies together. And, and I love that every woman leader in the organization never says, give me a chance because I'm a woman. Each woman will say, let's make a diverse world, have a diversity in gender, in color, in ethnicity, but also in age. We welcome the younger leaders, and we welcome the older leaders, and we welcome the diversity of thought from different regions, because our organizations are global. And really understand and hear. And a lot of people will say that, yes, we want more women on our leadership team, but they don't exist. And I always say, show up and encourage the women who are there. If you make sure that these women are there as a role model, the younger women will see them and be able to know that they can make it happen too. So having role models are really, really critical. And I
Absolutely.
feel, Shertina, that we met in Nashville at our last event, and
Mhm.
how amazing it was to see so many role models. I felt like they all were role models to each other, right?
Yes,
And such smart women to talk about not only the technology but also leadership, and what that really means.
that's right. That's right. It was really inspiring. And I'll say that, I've been in Wilda for just about a year now. I was recently introduced to the organization at a data management conference for financial services. And the summit or the forum in Nashville was my first in-person opportunity that I had the opportunity to attend, and it really was monumental for me. Number one, I work from home 100%. I'm completely remote, and just having the face-to-face interaction. And I'm based out of St. Louis, Missouri, and I was shocked to have like two other people there at the forum who were from St. Louis, and just getting to really solidify connections that I had made virtually, but more importantly to learn. And we had a lot of fun, and
Yes.
of course that was that was wonderful. And we should have fun at gatherings like this. But you're right, I mean, the women poured into each other, as far as sharing their stories, their journeys, their challenges, what their goals were, and then hearing from others too who talked about the importance of personal branding and board opportunities and things like that. I just love that combination of knowledge sharing and getting you to think outside of the box and really focus on what's important. It's great to be able to take time and dedicate it to my own personal development. So awesome event.
That's what they say. Leaders invest in learning, leaders
Mhm.
invest in growing. And if a leader is growing, your team will grow, your company will grow. So,
That's right.
so critical that we take this time out to be a lifelong learner and investing in our intellectual growth, our, personality growth, our emotional growth. And that's what our Nashville event was about. But I also like the fact that not only the Nashville event, but Wilda has virtual but also in-person events. We're
Mhm.
actually hosting L'Oreal, our corporate member L'Oreal. We're hosting this event in Los Angeles on May 9th,
Mhm.
where we will be bringing in founders, CEOs, inventors, scientists to talk about large language models. We have a very interesting talk on the models that can predict the consumer behavior. How do a consumer, what is the science behind making a decision, and how do the models learn? And, I
Mm.
feel like I'm a child in a candy store because so much knowledge and there's so much evolution in technology right now that
Yes.
you can keep learning constantly. And I think you and I were talking earlier
Mhm.
that your passion is about learning about trends, right? Stay
Yes.
ahead of the game. And my brother called me this morning and he's like, what's on your mind? And I said, oh my God, I can't even tell you. I am like a little kid who's learning. I should be like thinking, oh my God, 30 years in the industry, I should be bored or stagnated. And here I am, is like, I want to learn more about the neural networks and, how does the neuron activates. And so I am enjoying this evolution that AI has brought to on our tables as engineers. We are
Absolutely.
now getting our hands dirty with technology that's going to change the world. And what a great time! And what a great time for Wilda to do these events like
Mhm.
summits. And we're coming to St. Louis. You were talking about St. Louis.
I know. I'm
Build a
excited.
bear. And yeah, in September, if you want to come to St. Louis in September, Build a Bear. We're hosting a Build a Summit there. We're also going to London in June. So if you're in London in June, come see us at IPG Media Brands. And of course, May is L'Oreal. And I love being in this time to constantly keep learning and exploring and meeting these smart brains who are doing such great research. So yeah, so thank you for being in Nashville and exploring and growing.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Look forward to future events, but you'll definitely see me in St. Louis.
And we also are now launching AI Roundtable, where we will be talking about AI trends. We'll be talking about the best practices and also knowledge exchange. We actually had our first event yesterday. So it's going to be every other Tuesday at 4 p.m., where WILDA members all come together and we talk about the top three news, how it's impacting the industry. And then we go around and talk about what are we doing, what are we seeing that is working and what's not working and where the opportunities are. And it was an hour of so much wealth of information from different industries. I felt like I was taking tons of notes to see what I could use as I work with my clients and I work with companies across the board. Just, I think, Shertina, this is just a start for you and me as
Mhm.
learning and growing. I'm going to continue this journey. So,
Absolutely.
as a parting thoughts, as a closing statement, what would be your takeaway or something you would like to give to the audience?
Well, I really just say constantly stay a lifelong learner. Make sure that you have a growth mindset because this field does not stay still. It's not stagnant. You don't want to be left behind if you're not currently being curious and keeping up with those emerging trends. You will be left behind. And I think that our jobs are going to become so interesting as technology continues to evolve. I'm really excited about it. But again, I have that growth mindset to where I realize that I'm always going to be learning new things, and that's okay. I don't want to ever feel that I've just arrived. I want to keep it interesting because who wants to do the same thing day after day? Maybe some people, but not me. So that would be my parting words of encouragement and advice, and of course to keep women at the forefront because we bring so much to the table that may not be immediately recognizable, but our values and our skill sets and just our knowledge are just exceeding, especially in this younger generation that continues. It's like it's pretty amazing. Amazing. These young women are just really powerful and dynamic. So
Yeah,
keep women
absolutely.
at the forefront. Yes,
Absolutely. And I think that women bring a diverse thought process and brings a softer leadership skills where
that's true.
we collaborate and we bring the herding, we bring the teams together,
Yes,
we bring the stakeholders from, different aspects to make sure that we are moving it along further. And, they say the especially as a data leaders,
mhm,
you might not have the power because data sits everywhere, but
right.
women know how to influence, women know
That's
how
right.
to communicate really well. And I think those are the skills organizations can use to continue moving ahead. What a great opportunity for organization to promote women leaders, to make sure that we are combining and creating a diverse leadership team that can think differently. And so all the leaders of the C-suite are not looking the same.
Absolutely right.
There's a little bit of diversity on how people are looking. So if you're a C-suite leader, make sure you promote diversity on your team. And if you are a diverse candidate, make sure you raise your hand and be confident. As Shartina, you spoke about, you came from training and came from being a technical writer. You could come from customer service or a business unit. You can step in and take the leadership role. It's really about
Right.
the confidence and curiosity and being the growth mindset to continue progressing. I really enjoyed talking to you, and I hope we continue this conversation about learning, growing, and also exploring and sharing our knowledge everywhere we go to make sure that we're leaving the world a better place. If you all are interested in learning about Wilda, reach out to me or Shatina. We'll be able to provide some more information. But no matter where you are, you're reading CDO magazine articles, or you're attending a conference somewhere, or you're part of Wilda, all we need to do is be responsible, be ethical, and make sure the world we are building through AI and the models we are building are doing good job. With that, I'm going to say thank you, Shartina, and thank you everyone for joining us today. It's leaders like Shartina who are paving this inclusive and equitable digital future. And let's join this journey with these leadership and make sure we continue leaving an impact and leaving a trace for the younger generation to come and follow. I remember advancing parity and equity in the digital world begins with a conversation like these. So make sure you're raising your voice, you're having these conversations. And I'm your host here, Asha Saxena, urging you to stay engaged, inspired, and committed to making a difference in data and AI leadership. Join me if you can. If you're in Los Angeles, join me May 9th at L'Oreal Builder Summit, where we're talking about AI and CPG beauty. And we'll be on the West Coast campus, and we'll be discussing everything about AI and beauty. See you then. Thank you so much.
Thank you.